Besides that, you are on your way. You would have stopped at the clinic, and you met Adrian, and you two basically were informed by Blackwell that the others are on their way to the Sump Level. And so, I must ask you, you two are walking together. Anything you two want to say to each other? Anything you want to think out loud?
Adrian, I have a very important question to ask you.
Yeah, what is it?
What is a good name for a cat? Or two, even.
That's, yeah, I'm not the best person to ask that.
More of a dog man, are you?
I suppose you can say that.
And then you realize, Jonathan, that Adrian is colloquially known as the White Hound, as you say that.
Does your name mean that you bark?
No.
Then why are you referred to as the White Hound? I assume the white comes from your hair.
It's just, nickname.
No basis?
Well, you know how people go sniffing about, or rather the phrase of it.
Ah. It's as if comparing you to a bloodhound. I understand now.
Although I think the two of you, perhaps, already fit the bill. We're looking to be more, mercenary group. Like, you know, we feigned, in our dealings with, I'm so sorry, I'm blanking on the name. With, Mammon's Mariners. Do you remember?
Faintly.
We pretended to be a mercenary group in order to ingratiate ourselves with them.
Oh, so,
I was thinking perhaps we could use that ability to get some more details about what exactly the politics, you know, underground politics situation is down here, because...
A plan so nice, we shall do it twice.
Indeed, Sir Jonathan.
A disguise of some sort would make sure nothing leads back to you. It might be safe. Perhaps a different mask.
No, I'll be fine.
You don't even wish to change your hair color.
Not particularly.
What if I put a plastic bag, not plastic, a paper bag over you? And cut holes in it.
Very demeaning.
What are you trying to say, Sir Jonathan?
It is a classic disguise. Once, after quite a rambunctious evening, I misplaced my armor and helmet. So I put a paper bag over my head and ran out with what little clothes I could gather, which was mainly bed sheets, until I found what I had lost.
There's never like an air of like aristocracy to him. But now he's very much like a slum.
Now he looks like a coal miner.
Yeah, essentially.
All right. Renee will look to Mr. Weissman and he will say, "Ah, perfect. I think that will do. Normally you're so well kempt. It'd be a little bit presumptuous to assume that you'd purposefully dirty yourself, even for... well, maybe you would for an investigation. Who's to say? And that's the point. No one can be certain."
Well, at least, they will have to have a second glance to ensure my identity.
No, I don't remember who this is.
Okay, so when we started off getting information on the Duke of the Deep, all we knew was that these two, which were in the clinic, had been attacked. So we went to this guy's house to get information, and he gave us information, and that's what led to us to the sewers and all of that.
Okay, so that's what the problem is.
So I understand these two having like beef with him, but I am genuinely confused about what brings the entire political future of this area down here for this year.
Oh, fucking Nurstead is here too. What the fuck is this?
Yeah, it's an oldie, isn't it?
Dude. Wardy's here? I didn't even realize Wardy was here.
He's
There's a
hiding.
lot of people here. So, oh man, I have so many ideas for what might be happening.
And she says, if he's a worshipper of evil gods, then he deserves nothing but crucifixion at best. And you hear a lot of people, you hear some people kind of roaring in like applause or, you know, in disdain.
Well,
Yeah, crucify it. I'm sorry. The
Jonathan's just like,
the idea of crucifixion to like a gnome is really funny to me because I don't know if
it's a little cross.
I was about to ask, is it a little cross or is it the same size? And he's
No,
just
it's
not
gotta be a
big
little
enough.
cross.
I'm sorry.
They're still kind of arguing a little bit, and like maybe one or two kind of turns to you.
How to get more?
yeah, Adrian will turn to Rain and say, well, I guess that's our cue.
Sorry, go ahead, Mel.
I have an idea to get more attention. I'll go, excuse me, and I'll pull out a thing of chalk and just throw it in the middle. Huh.
You see Malcolm, like he instinctively like cuts the chalk as it falls down, and he goes, "Ah, fuck! I thought that was something interesting."
No, it is chalk. To get everyone's attention.
They all immediately turn to you.
Renee will turn to Adrian and go, he will go, need not worry. If things get a little hairy, I can always take this out. And he will kind of, like, he discreetly show his badge, like, in the palm of his hand behind him. And he'll start walking over behind Sir John.
I understand from what I've heard and observed that this gnome here has committed some not so pleasant things. But from what I also understand is that the four of you here are all wishing to become, it's mayor, right?
Yeah, mayor.
Mayor of this, should I say city or town? I'm sorry.
City, you're good.
City, okay. Mayor of this city. And while I understand wanting to show the people what you would do with a scenario like this, shouldn't the decision of what happens with the gnome be made by the current ruling of the current mayor?
Yes, if we let this man go, it's only going to undermine the authority of the Alabaster Enforcers, and we surely do not want to cause any instability any further.
I never said that his crime should be forgiven, but it is important that it is fair, and I think in such a fair trial, everything that is being accused should be laid out, so that all parties can understand what is being truly discussed.
Make another diplomacy check.
Okay.
The DC is 25. Oh no.
Again?
Not again, not again.
Bro, hold on. Let me try again.
No, oh no, you
Okay,
critically
hold on.
failed.
It's okay.
This is fucked up. Life specifically to hunting down members of the cult of the Yellow King.
She looks a bit taken aback, both by Adrian and you, and she says, she first gets like an inquisitive look, pun intended, and then she has a very devilish smile. She goes, now what is it that you, and she looks to you, Adrian, who are you? If this is a champion Razanur who says he hunts down these cultists, then who are you to make these claims that you have not seen any such signs when you entered his abode? What reason were you to go to his abode in the first place?
Adrian dramatically puts on his head and says,
And you hear people whisper, the White Hound, the White Hound.
He wipes the dirt out of his eyes.
I am Adrian Weissman. As for why I was there, I'm afraid that is private business.
Aware, you've probably got the communiques telling you who I am and what I am doing in this area. No doubt the High Command expected us to run into each other at some point or another. But I would ask you to please forego your easiest jump to conclusions. Use your near Grand Inquisitor level of instinct and think for one moment. Does this not all line up a bit too conveniently?
She looks a bit annoyed, and you see Malcolm. He's just kind of like, he's got his like, he's like scratching his chin. He's like, well, this is getting interesting.
Imagine that she would not be, because this is directly fucking with her investigation.
Absolutely. And
I am showing her up right now.
that too. And the other big thing is, you're Centurion, which is a big deal.
Yes.
But she's technically...
She outranks me.
Yeah, she technically outranks you. Even
which
if
is
you guys
why
are not
I'm
part of
being
it.
respectful.
Yeah. You hear people go, holy shit, this is happening. you hear people like they're also very scared. They're like, is the Legion coming?
as I see that her face is beginning to show a bit of annoyance, he will kind of straighten up his body as if he's like midway through his conversation. He's realized kind of who he's talking to. Like, shit, I gotta be a little bit more respectful. And he'll stand up straight and he will say, again, Madam, I mean no disrespect. I'm simply performing my duties.
But like, some complimentary statements like, well, this might actually go out like perfectly fine for once. There might not be blood spilled, and Malcolm looks very bored. Like he's just like, oh my god.
my colleagues and I, for it's been what, maybe a week, right?
Mm-hmm.
My colleagues and I have been investigating this matter for a number of days now, and if you're wondering why I'm not currently wearing my uniform, it's because my intention was to come down here in sort of an undercover role to see if I could glean any more information, but seeing as everyone and their in the city and their mother is here, I see no more need for such discretion.
How many of those actually would break the law?
All of them do.
Yeah.
No, these are all very bad crimes.
Yeah, these are pretty bad. We're not looking good as a defense team right now.
Our defense, though, is to make sure he doesn't get crucified.
Right.
Look, I'm just saying, technically speaking, since there's no law system, there technically are the laws.
Yeah, I mean, I would say the only people really acting within their jurisdiction here are maybe the Alabaster Enforcers, but the fact that they just want to kill a man for committing, like, fraud is, like, that's a little much. You know? I mean, he should have to pay back his debt, and yes, he should be charged for, but I think him either being crucified by the Inquisition or, like, just straight up being executed is a little much.
He nods and goes, no, I mean, you seem like a good guy, and not many of that in these places, that's for sure, compared to those other dudes.
That's, yeah, as you mentioned, it seemed like it was going to go somewhere quite violent if someone didn't intervene.
You're working with the White Hound, huh?
Mm-hmm.
And a Centurion, no less, huh? That's crazy. This must be you guys like on a big military operation? Is it like some spy stuff?
No, I wouldn't say anything like that.
Oh, well, I getcha. And he winks and a little ding. You're undercover. No, I gotcha.
It definitely is. By the way.
He's totally convinced that you guys are like on like some like James Bond level like mission. That's the narrative in his head.
Or how did he wink?
You know that smile the skeleton meme? It's like that.
Yes, it was a bit of a dressing down, but anything to not get a big kerfuffle going with the higher-ups, I'm sure you understand. I was also neglectful to mention the fact that there were some things that my commanding officer told me that maybe she doesn't quite need to know yet. So, the less complaints she has about me, I think the better. Anyways, were you able to find out anything from those two fellows over there?
Interesting piece of information. The Gator Man, I believe, is a witch, and he mentioned some old history. This area is built upon Atlantean ruins, which are on themselves built upon an even older set of ruins. Whatever that civilization were followers of these old gods, which would line up with the story the beer baron told us of discovering such ruins underneath his brewery.
No doubt. Come, let's meet up with Mr. Weissman. I'm sure he'd be interested in these findings as well.
Through. And as the ferry kind of skids to like where the water meets the ground of the cave, I'll go ahead. He kind of stops you all here. We'll just say these three are not here.
No, Bones Barrow.
He's not here. They'll look at you all and say, I'll wait for here. I'll wait right here. I assume when you're all done with your business with Mr. Chiryov, you can come back right here.
Indeed. And you keep your eyes peeled. Don't walk out of a emu war and into a cephalopod war.
And he kind of looks at you dead serious. And he goes, I'm always ready.
Renee will kind of salute him, like, half-heartedly, and turn around.
He'll salute full-heartedly.
I think it is fair to say that you deserve a home. That is not in question. And perhaps a great deal of the fault of your situation and everyone, and he'll gesture to all in the cave, everyone here is a victim of the current system, albeit whether that's the government, the Alabaster Enforcers. But I will say this, Chiryov. Do not set your heart to violence. I think soon enough you will see that another route will present itself. Perhaps someone like the Beer Baron could be an inspiration, could be a rallying point.
Of course. Nothing escapes my eyes.
Man was on his fucking phone.
Man,
That's such a lie.
You know what? I don't want to pay the fine. That's it.
That was such a lie. That man was sitting on his fucking phone.
He was not paying attention. He did not take me seriously at all.
Bruh, and you know what? I hope an emu gets his ass.
No.
Yeah.
By ABAP a couple of years ago.
Did you own it then as well?
Yeah, yes. It was terrible. I was not even there when the bombing happened. That's how I would have stopped it. You see.
Oh, yeah? Yeah, if you were there, things would have been different, huh?
Dude, if I was on one of the planes hijacked during 9/11, let me tell you.
It would have gone a little bit differently, alright? That pregnant woman would have lived. I'm just saying.
I would have just simply deflected all of the fireballs.
all how many?
Reversed.
Was it 3?
And I think there was 5. at
Yeah,
least.
maybe 4 or 5.
There's one by the dude who committed suicide.
Oh yeah, that's
It blew.
in the grand scheme of things. One, do you recall I believe it was the gnome we first investigated?
Kind of thinks back to a second. He goes, the bald one.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Woodnasa, yes.
Lunasa we found him in the middle of the subject of a great debate between the next mayoral candidates, and they were all talking about how they wanted to deal with him. We were able to handle that situation, but the biggest thing was the Inquisition was there and claimed that he was a cultist for the King in Yellow. Quite the claim. When we went inside his house, there was nothing to back that up, though we hear later that he was actually a former cult member and was trying to get out, which implies someone framed him, as the Inquisition says. They found yellow signs in his house.
Conducting themselves. When we approached, they seemed to be wanting to call for the death of this gnome, simply on the basis of those symbols, even though we were protesting that those symbols had not been there when Sir John and Detective Weissman had made it to his house.
I'm assuming this proclamation is what led to your identities being revealed afterwards.
I could not sit idly by and watch a man get executed, or even worse, for something completely baseless.
You are more honest men than most. I most appreciate what you have done. I kind of takes a moment to kind of like think over.
We did have to hand him over to the Kularan banking officials, which is a fate in and of itself, but it's better than crucifixion.
This will approach, and you realize that Dr. Blackwell is operating on a burger-looking man. In fact, she is operating on Barak, the burger man, who was somewhat recently rescued from a mannequin factory, and swore he was rescued by a man named King Arcturus. But let me go ahead.
Dude, that's stupid. Who called himself that?
Yeah, never heard of the guy.
I will say the three of you. Feredir is here. We'll say Feredir will join you guys here, and Bon Jovi as well as B, and all of you will begin to leave the clinic and make your way towards the city of Kularo, making your way across the bridge. We'll stop. We'll pick back up at the exit of Zarkel towards the bridge across the Gibraltar. We'll end the session right here.